Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today we have our Starting Now guide. This is the guide for new players who are starting Marvel Strike Force in July of 2021. And heck, if you just started in May or June of 2021, this video is for you too. This is a video for newer players to this game, and the reason I'm making this video is that so many of the new player guides are totally out of date. So if you have been searching the internet or YouTube and you found new player farming guides and they're 3 months old or 4 months old or more, they're totally worthless because most of the top characters in this game have come out in just the last 3 or 4 months. And this is a game that rapidly changes. And if you're using old information, you are going to be getting very bad advice. So what you want to do is always look for up-to-date information. Certainly, you can always, if you're watching this and it's a month later or it's been weeks later, you should definitely go to my Discord, which is linked below. There's also the Voltage Sauce Beginners Discord, which is a great resource for beginners. I'm on there, and many other veterans go on there and help newer players. Great place to get advice if you're a new player. That's linked below as well. But what we're going to do here is talk about the newest, most up-to-date advice of how to use the most new overpowered characters in this game to get ahead. All right. So the overall strategy is explained in a video that I linked below called Path to Power. That's my new and mid-game players guide that tells you an overall strategy in this game, focusing on the game modes that give you the most resources. So in the very beginning, that'll be the arena, which gives you a lot of rewards, gives you these things called power cores, which are the premium currency in this game, and then these things called arena credits. And then later on, you're going to be focusing on these things called Dark Dimensions. So this is a game mode that gives you massive amounts of rewards, all this orange gear as well as very important characters. So very, very cool stuff. And this is a game that essentially involves, it's a resource management game more than just being it's not like a Pokemon where you just want to collect them, collect characters. It's really a game where what you're going to do is manage your resources carefully and invest them in the right characters that are powerful that will get you through these game modes to get you the resources as quickly as possible and as much resources as possible. That's really what you're trying to accomplish in this game. So one thing I will just tell you is, you may be looking for a guide that just tells you what to do, like farm this character, then that character, and I'm going to try to get you started. But one thing I will just say is no matter what guide you're looking at, do not blindly follow a guide. And you should always take into account new things that are happening to your account, because you are going to get lots of orbs and things like that are going to drop into your lap, whether it's a premium orb or they have these basic orbs. You're going to get different characters that are going to fall into your lap. Mega orbs early on that are going to give you some character that could totally change which way you should go with your account. So definitely being part of a community, going to that Discord is important. But generally speaking, I will give you a sense of where you should start. So first of all, let me just say, and to give you a sense of how rapidly things are changing in this game, this is an infographic that I made with the Voltage Sauce Beginners Discord back in March. So this is literally 4 months ago, barely 4 months ago. I think it was less than 4 months ago that I made the infographic, since it's the beginning of July now. And this is totally outdated advice. This is not a bad way to start. So I said, hey, start with these Wave 1 Avengers, okay, which are a team we all know from the movies, for the Heroes campaign. And then for the Villains campaign, you get this character Zemo in the raid store, Baron Zemo, and you pair him either with Sinister Six or with these Hydra characters, and that will get you through the Villains campaign. If you're free to play, that's still decent advice. The problem is it's become outdated. And the reason it's become outdated is since that time, the developers introduced a character called Silver Surfer, who became at the time, this was back in March, the most overpowered character in the game. And they gave everyone who was playing in March a free 2-star Silver Surfer. Then the next month, they introduced this character, Kestrel. And they had an event where they gave everybody who was playing a month ago, or back in May, a Kestrel for free. So experienced players, even free to play, were getting her at 4 stars. Newer players might have been getting her at 2 stars, but everybody who was playing back then got Kestrel. And then last month, the developers introduced this team called Infinity Watch, which became quickly by far the most powerful team in the game. These Gamora and Nebula were already in the game. They were older characters, but they got revamped. And then these 3 new characters were introduced. And the developers, this character is very, very hard to get, Adam Warlock, but the other 2, Viola Vel and Moondragon, were given away in events. Even new players got them, newish players got them. And if you run even 3 or 4 characters of this team and not the full 5, you still have this super OP team that's better than anything else you could get as a new player. Let me show you an example here, okay? This guy here on the left, this is the arena team of a player that started in like a month and a half ago. He's free to play. He hasn't spent a dime on this game. But he got a 2-star Phyla-Vel and a 2-star or 3-star Moondragon from these events for free. He's farmed up Nebula and Gamora, and then he got Zemo from the raid store. And this team is doing really, really well for him in Arena. Here is, on the right, an image of a player who started around a month ago. And he, or I think a little less than a month ago, now he's whaled out a bit. In other words, he's paid for some of those offers to get Kestrel, who is probably the best character in the game. Still, solo character, she's amazing. But he got these 2 from the events, Phyla-Vel and Moondragon. He whaled out a little bit on Gamora. He got some Nebula, and boom, he's got an insanely powerful team, and he's just destroying everyone and loving it. So why am I sharing this with you? Well, first of all, if you started last month or the month before, you should pursue that strategy. But putting all that aside, what I want to do is help new players who are starting in this month figure out what the right strategy is for them. And what I will say is that new strategy almost certainly involves focusing on the newest, most OP characters. So let me give you an example. Okay, I'm going to show you here. This is a website called MSF.gg. You can go to it yourself, and they have something called a stats table where they show you the stats for all the heroes. Well, let's sort by health. This is Adam Warlock. He came out this month, right? You can see Gamora up here, Moondragon, all these top characters. So this character, Captain America Sam, is one of the 3 characters coming out in the upcoming month. Well, let me tell you, he's the 2nd highest health in the game. OMG, right? Well, if you are just starting now, you need to prepare yourself for the fact that Captain Sam is going to be a really, really good character. And he's coming to the game in this month. And you know what? He is going to be available to players in some way that they can get him for free. So if we look here, we can see, for example, Captain Sam. Here he is. This is the guy from the Captain America and Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show, which I loved. They have these various tags. He's a skill protector, whatever, secret avenger, a new team, and you see he hooks into skill allies, right? Well, he's going to have a couple other secret avenger characters that are coming to the game. One is who is going to be coming is Sharon Carter. She's going to be offered an event campaign that you'll be able to get as a new player. You should be able to get her to 2 stars as a new player. And then also there's going to be a 3rd character, widely rumored and partially confirmed to be Maria Hill. So if you're able to, as a new player, get 1 or 2 of those characters, do you know who you could pair them with? Well, you can pair them with Gamora and Nebula, who, even if you weren't around last month to get these 2, are still available in the game very easily. And guess what? She is a skill character. So Gamora is a skill character. She's going to have some synergy with, in other words, she's going to get some benefit, right? You saw the skill stuff in his abilities that help skill allies. So Gamora is going to be helped by that. And then Nebula and Gamora are sisters, and they work really well together, and their abilities work really well together and help one another. So how do you get these characters? It's super easy. You get the Gamora character in the Blitz store. So you can literally just get her right here for 500 credits in the Blitz store, no problem. Now, over time, these Blitz orbs are actually a better deal, okay, because you actually you pay only 350 credits, and then you get not only the character shards, but you also get this gold, which can be in short supply. But in addition to that, I would be focusing on at least unlocking her and getting her stars up a little bit, pairing her up with, of course, those new characters you get. So what are you going to do when you start the game? So what you're going to do is you can work on that Wave 1 Avengers team, okay, which you're going to get just so we showed it a moment ago, but I'm going to go here. You go to Wave 1 Avengers. So the team is going to be, Black Widow, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and Hawkeye, okay? You're going to get Captain America for free when you start the game on a calendar. You're going to get Thor for free. You're going to get Hulk from these achievements. You're going to get little shards of him over achievements over time. So he's going to come to you. And then you're going to get these characters. They're all very easy to farm. You can see here's Thor, for example. He's also available in the raid store, right? But like very early on, you can farm Hawkeye, okay? And, so you're going to have a fairly easy time. When you get in the villains campaign, for example, you'll be able to farm Black Widow. So you'll be able to get some of these characters up, and they work together, and they have a lot of good teamwork, just like they do in the movies. But as you get through that Heroes campaign, okay, and you start working on those Wave 1 Avengers, you can start also building up Gamora from the Blitz store. She is also a hero. Then, for the Villains campaign, I still agree with my infographic here from the Voltage Sauce Beginners Discord, where we've got Zemo and the Sinister Six. They're all available in various stores, okay, or farm. They're very easy to find. So I think that's a good team to get here. So you have a Swarm, and Electro, Rhino, Mysterio, and Zemo. That's a good way to go for the Villains campaign. But then what you'll be able to do is once you get to the Nexus campaign, where you can use any character, you'll be able to go to Nexus 4-6, and you will be able to farm Nebula. And that is going to be the way that you'll be able to complete this team. Now, we don't know yet which characters you're going to need to use to unlock Sharon Carter and how you'll be able to get Captain Sam. But I would be on the lookout for those new characters. And then if you are going to be purchasing offers in this game, what I would do is focus on these super OP characters we talked about. So if you're able to get Kestrel or Silver Surfer, I would grab them. Okay? They're fantastic characters that are great to just build around. And I would also say that if you're able to get any of the Infinity Watch characters, I think they are reasonable to get, although I would not spend any money on Gamora and Nebula, because as I showed you, they're very easy to get for free. But these two are not. So I think that would be a very, very good way to go for a new player, is to invest in the most OP characters and just roll with those. Now, in the past, I was telling you, just in March, hey, the Asgardians are good because they lead to some legendary characters. The symbiotes are good because they're very useful in raids and in Dark Dimension. They still are, but these new characters are so OP that I don't think you can ignore them. Now, let me just give you one note before I go about Legendary. So, I know that if you are watching this and you're still watching at this point, you've watched other guides probably or seen other guides, and they've told you, well, Marvel Strike Force is all about the legendaries. And many of the new player guides are all about farm for this legendary, then farm for that legendary, and then farm for this legendary. And you know what? Those guides are crap. And that's because in this game, the legendary characters are really not that important. Of all of these characters, these are all the legendary characters in this game. The only one that's really, really important is this guy who was introduced this month and will be impossible for anyone to get unless you've been playing this game for a long time or poured an absolute fortune, like the price of a new car, into this game. So you're not going to get this guy anytime soon. So are the rest of these characters good? Well, some of them are. Some of them are useful. Ebony Maw is useful. Dr. Octopus is useful. But a whole slew of them are like you could totally skip. Okay? These should not be your focus. And if you're following some guide that's like, hey, farm for this legendary, then farm for that one, you've got the wrong approach to this game. What you need to do is figure out what the best characters are, most of which are not legendary. So the best characters are like Kestrel's not a legendary, Silver Surfer's not a legendary. The other 4 characters in Infinity Watch aren't legendaries. Doctor Doom's not a legendary, right? Bishop's not a legendary. When we look, a lot of these characters that I've geared up heavily, Baron Zemo's not a legendary. I've geared up heavily in my roster are not legendaries. And a lot of them are available in stores to you, like Baron Zemo in the Raid store. Mr. Sinister's a useful character, and Ghosts are useful characters that are from the War store. There are plenty of characters, Red Guardian from the Blitz store, that are very useful in this game that are not legendary. So what I would just urge you to do is focus on getting these new OP characters that are coming to you for free that you won't be able to get after this month. Try to grab as many of their shards as possible and build a team around those characters. I think that's the way to go if you're starting now. All right, so if you like this video, smash that like button. Go to the links below and comment if you have any thoughts. Also, subscribe to this channel and head to our Discord. We have great discussions there. If you're a new player, go to the Voltage Sausage Discord, also linked below. And hey, check out my Twitch stream. I stream there most weeknights. Also a great place to get your questions answered.